All right. This is episode 12, recording as of March 9th, 2025. And boy, was this a rough week. Um, so, key rough point of it was work. Um, you know, love my mom to death. God bless her heart. But boy, did she turn me into a worrier. Take something that is otherwise small and turn it into the biggest deal absolutely possible. Um, I had some, uh, I made some mistakes at work. I'll admit my fault in that. And my boss's boss put a meeting on the calendar to talk about both of those, and I spent the better part of 27 hours, 28 hours stressing about it, genuinely thinking I was about to be fired. And then get into the meeting and come to find out that she just wanted my perspective on one of the mistakes, and then she wanted to talk about not the other mistake I made, but how we could tighten up that whole process in general. And basically, the overarching message of the meeting was, "Hey, you've been doing such a good job with all of these projects that we've given you that nobody else knows how to do them because we would rather they not screw it up, and you won't screw it up." So I was like, man. So at the end of the meeting, I made the joke that I was kind of like, man, I almost kind of wish you'd fired me just because I'd have felt vindicated about stressing about it for so long. But no, ultimately that was a good thing, even if I did spend as much time stressing about it as I did. But the key reason that it was a rough week as well was just because I have three people at my job right now who do my job, and it's myself, my supervisor Georgia, and then my supervisor Georgia, and then a coworker of ours who lives down in Colorado Springs. Her name's Tiffany, and Tiffany was just out of the office. She announced it in the middle of last week, and I might have said this in the previous video because I had to take half of Thursday and Friday of last week off because Gabby and Vinny were sick. But but then I had to take. But then she was still out all of this week, which just meant, and Georgia was wrapped up doing fee projects. So I was literally doing all of the day to day work, which was just too much for 5 full days. My blood sugar's low. Good stuff. Um, so that was a little rough, but I'm trying to think of what else. Oh yeah, we had a showing Wednesday for the house, which honestly was just kind of frustrated us because it was like they wanted to view the house at 2:30 on a Wednesday, which is just a weird. That just says weird things to me. And the only feedback we got from it was that the buyer lost interest almost immediately because of an overwhelming pet odor. And first up, Gabby was pissed because she was like, "Oh, they lost interest immediately. Then why did I wait for them for the whole hour appointment, um, sitting in the car?" Which is weird anyway because Gabby and I have looked at places before and we've never needed the full hour. I mean, we've maybe spent 30 minutes in a place that we really liked, so we were like, not only did they not lose interest immediately, it almost seems like they weren't interested at all, but also I'm like, one of the main draws for the place that we're living is that it is pet friendly. We have a frickin' dog door in the sliding glass door to the backyard. We've installed turf so that dogs can be out there. So of course there are going to be dog odors. I don't know what the heck they were thinking. Whoa, whoa, shaking the whole desk there. So yeah, that was just a kind of an annoying happenstance that they made that mistake. But beyond that, it's just moving prep. I'm still trying to read my book series, but boy, it just takes time. I can't do it as fast as I used to, because it used to be, oh, I'd listen for 40 minutes on the dog walk in the morning, 30 minutes on the ride in, an hour listening on lunch, 30 minutes on the drive home, and then occasionally if I had to do a mail run at work, I'd get another 30 minutes in. So you're talking what? An average of 2 hours and 40 minutes of listening per day. And now I'm like, yeah, maybe I get an hour on lunch depending on how I'm feeling that day. I got to do a lot of reading while Gabby and Vinny were on vacation, but it, whatever, this kind of stuff happens. So, in other news, in the more political realm, I watched Trump's news, his State of the Union that wasn't really a State of the Union address, and that was really fun. It was because I was hoping that he would make some kind of new announcement, but really it was just him talking about essentially everything that had been accomplished over the past 60 days, and boy was it a list of crazy accomplishments. I mean, it just went on, and it felt like win after win. And I know some people were raging about it, but it seems like overwhelmingly people were in support of all the things he talked about and said in the speech. So I was really happy with that. It was a really good it was just a really good announcement and speech that he gave. So on the war front, it's been wild. I mean, essentially, I think sometime last week, Zelensky, the president of Ukraine, came into a meeting with Trump and Vance and essentially blew up a deal that would have ended the war. And then he turned around a few days later and was like, "Oh, I'm sorry. We're ready for peace. I'm ready to sign the deal." And then turned around a few days later and was like, "Actually, no, I'm not ready to sign the deal. We're going to be at war with Russia forever." And now has turned around again and is like, "Well, okay, maybe I will sign it." And it really just seems like he's making these announcements because his position keeps changing. It's like I think he initially blew up the deal because he was advised by people in the U.S. government to hold out, just see what else he could get, and then Trump was basically like, "Well, you're gonna get nothing." That's basically what it's gonna be. You're gonna get nothing. So then he went to NATO, with the exception of the U.S., and they were like, yeah, we'll try to help, but it's gonna take a while. And so he came back and was like, "Okay, well maybe we'll sign the deal." Because he didn't get a firm answer from NATO, but then the UK kept saying, "Well, we'll put boots on the ground." Canada was like, "Well, we'll help out," and so he was like, "Okay, never mind, I don't need the deal." And then finally NATO was like, "Yeah, we just can't provide the same backing that the US did, so sorry about that." And now he's like, "Oh well, I suppose we'll sign the deal." So it's just been a funny set of circumstances. Trying to think of what else took place this week. I've been watching one of the. Oh wow, my hair's going crazy this morning. Oh, that didn't help. Okay, well, oh Mel, maybe it helped. It's doing something kind of cool. In the other, in the realm of more, in the social realm, it was interesting to see after reports of the Oscars this year, because in the past handful of years, the Oscars has been a place for making big political speeches and grandstanding. And from everything I've seen, it seems like the Oscars were much more muted this year. Which they the people that I'm listening to think reflects the fact that Hollywood's kind of like, hey, we at the very least now we might not understand where the culture's at, but we know it's not where we thought it was. So we're gonna provide just sort of a bare bones um, approach to the Oscars this year. So there weren't any there wasn't any big political grandstanding. They still made their jokes at Trump, but that's what they do. So I don't think anybody was too upset about that. But it's just I think things are changing, and I think things are changing for the better. Um, I think that's all I've got. I don't know. I think starting with the next episode, I'm actually going to start writing down things that happened during the week because I always feel like I cross a few things will happen during the week and I'm like, oh, this will be great to talk about in the video series. And then I get to the video series and I'm like, what was that again? And then I don't remember it. So that's what I'm going to do next time. All right. Well, in the meantime, I guess I'll be seeing you around. Thanks. Bye.